Good morning, Crystal Palace. Welcome to the Upper Norwood Library Hub live lunch. This is intended as a bit of entertainment, some positivity, a break from work from the current situation, and a way of keeping connected with the local community. So my guest today is Neil Bihan, who is a coffee roaster and the manager of Blowing Dandelion, which is chocolate shop and cafe on the Triangle. So Neil, it's lovely to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a bit about Blowing Dandelion and where it came from?
Well, we opened Blowing Dandelion shop, the Artisan Chocolate Cafe, in September 2016. So over 3 years ago, we opened. And you'll know my partner Michaela is she's the owner and she makes everything in there. She's the chocolatier, so she'd been making chocolates as a chocolatier for about 6 or 7 years before we opened, and she had a number of market stalls dotted around South London. Starting at Crystal Palace was her very first one, and more successful ones up in Greenwich and Herne Hill, and places like this. And then once we took the shop on, within about a year or so, she packed in all the markets and just focused on the shop. So yeah, we opened in September 2016. The name Blowing Dandelion comes from way back when she decided that whatever business she had, she would call it Blowing Dandelion. So it ended up being chocolate, and the name Blowing Dandelion came from there. I met Michaela just before we opened. Really, she needed some help with making coffee, and I turned up and ended up helping her open the place, and there started the story of the chocolate shop. Really, yeah.
Awesome. And you obviously, chocolate is kind of the main product, but you do have a lot of other things that you sell. You're obviously selling coffee now, which I'm going to ask you about in a minute. But you also have cake and ice cream as of about 3 days ago, and all sorts of other things. So
yeah, I mean, she called it the Artisan Chocolate Cafe. I suppose Blowing Dandelion is the brand, but the essence is artisanal. We make everything in the shop ourselves. 95% of stuff is made by us, and Michaela makes all that. I can stand in busy times, and she's taught me how to do these things. But it's a small shop, you'll know from being one of our regulars there.
Oh, yeah.
And it enables us, the size of it, to not have to rely on others. So we make it all ourselves. She bakes a variety of cakes. She's got we have some vegan offerings. So there's vegan cakes, there's vegan ice cream, vegan truffles, vegan chocolate bars. And in the last couple of years, we've been getting more and more support throughout time, but her sort of artistic side has taken off. She does, the planetary chocolates from coming in. She started making Dinosaurs to go with the sort of the individual handmade truffles. So there's a huge range of chocolate in there. And as you say, unfortunately, most people eat chocolate in winter only, and summer's a quiet time. So we realised very quickly that we'd need to add something to our summer offering. So the homemade ice cream is now being delivered whilst we're temporarily closed. So it's that sort of place. We make everything ourselves, and I roast the coffee to go with it. So there's some nice combinations, and we sell some more of different stuff at different times of the year, depending, what. But with this sun now, the ice cream is, I always say, if you get a chocolatier making ice cream, the ice cream's also very nice. Yeah.
And I can absolutely attest to that, having tried it yesterday. So the chocolate and the salted caramel are absolutely amazing. And I know from last year that the pistachio is probably my all-time favourite. So that one is sitting in my freezer waiting for probably tonight.
I recommend the rhubarb. Well, you've got the rhubarb. We had when we first started doing ice cream, I realised the power of social media. Somebody went onto that Crystal Palace local and made a positive comment about our rhubarb some time ago, and we sold out within about 2 hours. So yeah, we do appreciate this local coverage. Yeah.
Well, I did actually buy some of that yesterday as well, because a friend had recommended it, and so I'm glad I got in there before it sold out. But I haven't actually tried it yet, so I will post my positive comments after I do. You mentioned about the planets and the dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs popped up around the time that the Dino Bridge was agreed, I think, in Crystal Palace Park, and that was specifically related, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was some. I mean, we've had a longer-term relationship with the Crystal Palace Dinosaur Society, or they name themselves. They're regulars in the shop, and they've been trying to push Michaela for pretty much since we opened, to start doing some dinosaur related stuff and offer some support. So yeah, they were fundraising and we helped with that fundraising. And yeah, she put up some exhibits in the shop of what can be done with chocolate, and it's now a case of just, you know, bringing that relationship with Crystal Palace Dinosaurs close together. So yeah, if the shop was open, the customers would see lots of dinosaurs in there now, ranging from a very small size to slightly larger ones. But it enables Michaela to have a bit more artistic freedom making the little chocolates all the time. So yeah, coming soon on the dinosaur front, some more collaborations, I think. And the planets would come from her son Oliver, who's, you know, into the sky and the celestial stuff and so on. And she'd always wanted to do them, but the technique's quite difficult, so it took her a long time of being ready to release them. But you know, we've got some large planets and the whole solar system of the little boxes. They're very unique. But yeah, the inspiration again, as always, generally comes from her son. So she promised to do them. But yeah, we were contacted by the Science Museum over those last year, and we still have some contact here and there. But yeah, they created a lot of interest for the shop, and we became busier as a result of her doing more artistic things. Yeah.
Because the planets chocolates, it's 9, isn't it, that relate to each of the planets?
Yeah, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and they're very lifelike. But you can eat them. Yes, they're a lot of people say they struggle to eat them because they're so artistic. But yeah, we do the full solar system boxes. As I say, at the moment we're not doing so much because chocolate's not the big seller, but they're very, very popular for occasions and so on. And yeah.
I have to say I've struggled with the fact that they're too beautiful to eat myself, and the eggs previously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you saw for Easter's just passed, but we always do a kind of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And there's that extraordinary size egg in the shop still at the moment that someone's won that we'll have to get round to delivering at some stage. But
won it?
Yeah, I don't know, but Michaela knows the lady that you know bit into the egg and found the lucky ticket, and she's got to deal with that huge egg. We don't know what she's going to do with it. Last year was great because the person that won the huge egg gave it to the local hospice, and it ended up generating a lot of money. So yeah, the community engagement on those things is really good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And tell me a bit more about the external projects that you do, because I seem to remember you've got a globe project going.
Well, I suppose they're our wholesale customers. So the lady that runs the Shakespeare's Globe retail shop up there, the big shop, she's been a regular like many since we first opened, and suggested the idea after about 6 months, would we like to provide something for Shakespeare's Globe? And if you walk into the shop now, you'll see our small chocolate bars with Shakespeare's head on the top of the chocolate bars, and they're fairly regular orders. We've got the edible ink that we put on those, so you can eat Shakespeare if you want to. We do lots of weddings and things now. We do the wedding favours for weddings. I provide the coffee for some weddings. So there's a range of things, but the most exciting one would probably be that Science Museum if it ever came off. But they're lovely people, and again, the guy that's in charge of retail is a regular customer, so the shop gives us a nice front to enable us to meet these sorts of people. Really,
yeah. That leads me on to your coffee, actually, because you just mentioned it again. So because you started doing selling your own coffee in the shop in the last year or so.
Yeah, it's 1.5 years. I've changed the name quite recently, but yeah, I've been roasting the coffee for the shop for about 1.5 years. I was using a friend of mine before I set up the roasting business. But yeah, I've been around coffee for over 10 years or so now, and roasting was the kind of final part of the jigsaw for me. And it's we roast for the shop in the chocolate shop in Palace, and I've got a few customers that have cafes all around southeast London, in Forest Hill, Croydon, and up near Bermondsey and so on. And at the moment, it's mainly coffee for home, for people drinking at home, not in our shop anymore, and all the other cafes. So yeah.
And actually, so how are you functioning during the lockdown? Because
it's very difficult because our business is closed, like many. But we obviously have the advantage that we can sell our products online. I had a hastily put together website for the coffee, and Michaela already had a little presence online, but we never really looked at online sales. But we weren't given much opportunity to do much else. But we threw ourselves in with Easter coming into the webpage. And we're operating a delivery system. Again, we don't use anybody. Myself and Michaela take it in turns most days to go and do what deliveries there are. And we're dropping chocolate and coffee and cakes, and what we normally sell in the shop is largely available online for next day delivery. So we had to learn very quickly about how to operate a service online, but the support we've received locally, I mean, once you go online, you're nationally, but our customers are still local customers. So everybody that was coming to the shop, we hope that they're all aware now that we do have a service. You can give me a ring. Both of our phone numbers are now out there. The web pages are up and functioning, and so far so good. But yeah, we, like everyone, we're trying to be as agile as we can, and can't wait for the day that we're able to open the shop on whatever terms that would be. But until then, it's our web page, and we're really grateful, actually.
Yeah, I've really noticed the increase in your web presence, actually. Social media and things like that. It's lovely.
Not for a Luddite like me on the coffee, but I think Michaela's done some amazing work, actually. I think we're learning the value of being active every day. You have to, and she's been very creative and put lots of pictures and videos and lots of clear information about how to get anything from the chocolate shop. No, I think she's been amazing. Yeah, she's better than me at it so far.
Well, it's all useful skills, isn't it, though, and stuff that you'll absolutely continue to use afterwards.
Yeah, and in the brave new world, whatever's coming, you in order to try and survive, it seems you have to be as agile as you can be. So we're trying to, be mature and grown up and sensible, but learn as quickly as we can, because you don't know when they're going to go, and if they ever do go back to what we knew as normal, probably not. But yeah, learning quick is important, and we have the opportunity through the internet. So as I say, we are very grateful.
Yeah, really grateful for technology right now that allows us to. I mean, I was the same as you, that I've had to put everything online immediately and learn how to do it as quickly as possible. And I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that, and also to do things like this where you can actually have a chat with somebody online and be able to see them. And it really makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still quite strange for me as a modern day Luddite, but I'm getting used to it. And it is these things are invaluable. 20, 30 years ago, we wouldn't have had the opportunities we got because of the internet and these sorts of things. And the community and Palace is great. So yeah, fingers crossed.
And actually, speaking of community, one of the things that I've always noticed about Blowing Dandelion is just the amazing community it has, and the really friendly atmosphere. I think you were the first cafe that I came to, probably even before I moved to Crystal Palace. And I remember it because you'd actually shut. I think my brother and I got there at about 6:01, and you'd actually shut. And you saw us outside the door and came to see what we wanted. And actually, all we wanted was a hot chocolate in the sun, because it was a beautiful sunny day, and you have that lovely sunny spot just outside. And yeah, you brought us hot chocolate outside and just said, "Take your time, I'm going to be here for a while." And it was a really lovely experience. And so
I do remember. We've been busy and it's been a long time, but there are some treasured memories of initial meetings with people like yourself. They're now friends as well as customers. But yeah, the early days, it was great. I was often staying open quite a lot later in the early days.
Yeah, well, I've actually made friends since through sitting in the shop. And actually, it's lovely having that's turned into kind of a parkrun group, which you are part of.
Yes, yes.
Obviously, we can't do parkrun right now, so it's become a sort of quiz and drinks group as well.
It's an amazing little place, and I think it works for all manner of reasons above and beyond the products. Really, it's a small, cosy shop, which helps for atmosphere. Good choice of music, I always find. But the atmosphere and the kind of just sometimes things just come together at the right time, in the right place, with the right people. And with all the planning in the world, sometimes things don't work out. But we have somehow created, I think, something quite special that's part of the community. And it's interesting you say that you've met friends through the cafe. I've seen so many people make friends, and the shop becomes part of their day, especially on weekends. And I see people sort of hanging out outside the shop, and I know that they met in our shop. And it's quite an amazing thing, and it doesn't seem to be stopping. New people come to the area. We have new customers all the time, but I call this the group, the sort of hardcore group that I remember from the first few weeks that still come. And it's an amazing place. It's provided, all sorts of things, as I say, above and beyond chocolate. There's a community feel, and people come in there for support. There's some nice people around. you know, in difficulties. I often hear people supporting each other in that shop, and it's an amazing environment. So we can't take credit for planning everything. A lot of it just sort of come together with the right atmosphere and the right people, with the size of the shop, the product. I think it is quite unique, and yeah, and we really do appreciate it, actually. Yeah.
Was the community sort of the ethos when you started the shop? Was community intentionally an important part of it?
Well, I mean, you know, my background in coffee, and I've run a few sort of cafes over the year. I wouldn't call it my specialism, but customer care and customer service, if you're running cafes, is everything. You can have the best products in the world, but I mean, I'm not a huge consumer, but I won't buy stuff from people that I'm not keen on. And you have to provide the right environment. And the sort of, you know, I'm a fairly sociable guy. There's no problems with that. So there's always time to have a chat, but it's important. And when it becomes, which it has really now, it's a family business for us. It's really important to provide high customer care. We pride ourselves on quality of product, but making sure as soon as somebody comes in that door, they will get a hello, and it's very genuine. You know, we want returning customers, but we want to provide a nice place. It takes a lot of hard work. But as I say, it's a lot easier to maintain those sort of levels of care when you have a small place. When you're a bigger business and you've got 5 or 6 staff, and you know there's people coming through the door every second, it's very much more difficult to create that sort of environment in such a big place. But it makes it easier in the shop. It's so cozy. I mean, I think there's only 11 seats in there, so even when I'm busy, it's only so busy as busy as I can be, really. Yeah, it's lovely in there. It's lovely. It just all came together. We don't take it for granted. After this has happened, you realise none of us know what's around the corner. Yeah. But we would never sort of rest on our laurels. We're always trying to provide something new. And the customers do it for us. They'll come in, they'll be friendly, they'll create that atmosphere as well as us providing the environment for them to do it. Yeah.
You guys have actually had quite a year, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, we have a 7-8-month-old baby in tow. It was quite hectic. I mean, many people have children and so on. It wasn't the easiest thing to go through. There were some difficulties, but we all came through it in one piece. And I have to say that we came through it with the help of our friends in the chocolate shop. You'll remember you were there. I did ask for help. It all got a bit messy at one stage, but we realised then, and I certainly realised then, that I have friends in the shop. You know, I see customers for all intents and purposes, but I knew very clearly then that a lot of these, including you, we were friends, and it was just reinforced then with the support that you gave us, and we managed to keep the shop open during that time and then get back to normal at the end. So yeah, you'll see, you met Isla. She's growing up. She's all well. There's no problems. She's she's a good sleeper, which is handy.
Excellent. That's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I think I actually made some new friends helping last summer. Clean. I seem to remember scraping chocolate off the cooker or something. And,
well, I think, when I eventually admitted that I couldn't cope and I needed a bit of help if I was going to open this shop and deal with what was going on at the birth and so on, everybody just kind of turned up at the door and said, "Tell me what to do." So I sent people downstairs to clean. Some people were making cakes. Some people were helping me behind the counter. But yeah, there was a group of you. I remember. I have some pictures that I'll keep forever, where you were all downstairs cleaning and making stuff for me while I was trying to put a brave face onto people upstairs, and it was amazing time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing to be allowed to help actually as well.
Yeah, I needed it. Yeah, I needed it.
Yeah. So if, as I'm sure we have now made people hungry by talking about all this, if people want to order chocolate cake, vegan chocolate, coffee, ice cream, and I really recommend doing that before it runs out.
There'll be more. There'll be more.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah.
It's going to run out. It's going to run out. How can people contact you to order?
Yeah, so if you are wandering past the shop and you didn't know we were there are the details on the window there with the phone number and the webpage. But the best place is at times we are getting busy with orders. The best way is to order through the webpage, even though you can call us. Our numbers are out there, but www.blowingdandelion.org. And Michaela's regularly updating what's on there and what we're selling. All the Easter stuff's now gone, and there's ice creams on there, as you say. There's brownies, cakes. and you can place the order and we will deliver the next day. Amazing. Sometimes it's on the same day. If we're there and packing and the order comes through, we'll do it quickly. We've put no sort of parameters on postcodes, but if it's too far, we'll stick it in the post. But anything within a couple of miles, we've just been getting out. We're closed. So if we have orders, we will deliver. And for you can order the coffee through there if you wanted, but I have my own coffee website as well, which is bihancoffee.co.uk. And you can send me a message through there just to check what's left on the coffees. A few of the coffees are running low, but I'll be roasting again very soon and have the full range back. But there'll always be coffee around. Yeah, so internet is the best place. Send us a message and we'll be there the next day with our mask and gloves on delivering. Yeah.
Brilliant. And you're also on Instagram and possibly Twitter, I think, at BD_chocolate.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think Twitter Michaela's using too much, but BD_chocolate, yeah, something. Yeah.
And Instagram there's quite a lot going on that on your page, isn't there?
Absolutely, that's the focus of Michaela's. I mean, it's linked to Facebook and so on, but that's where we put the information out as to what we're doing and what's going on. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I can't wait to try my 2 ice creams that I haven't tried yet. So other people will give you a shout as well. So thank you so much for coming to us.
Thank you very much for having me, and I will use this opportunity to thank everybody. You know, when the door closed and with everything that's going on, like everyone else, we had our concerns and we still do, but the support, as always, has been overwhelming. So keep the orders coming. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right.
Moving on just very quickly to our the Upper Norwood Library Hub live streaming programme. There's a couple of things just to update you all on. So we have a large and varied and ongoing live streaming programme, everything from kind of morning mindfulness and yoga to children's stories to adult bedtime stories to music, singing, live, everything basically. And there's just a couple of things to let you know about. Particularly, the first thing is that if there are vulnerable or older generation people who are having issues with tech, so getting online, if you want to be able to video call, anything like that, Casper is running weekly classes to help specifically with this. So this is Clear Community Web, and you can find out the information, I think, by this video and also on our Facebook page. So if you know anybody who might need help with tech, please give Casper a shout, get involved with that. And the other thing to say specifically is that tomorrow we're running Talkioki at 2 o'clock. And this is a live chat show that anybody can come along and chat about anything and everything. And it'd be really lovely if there was some local people. So if it was sort of connected solidly to Crystal Palace. So please do tune in. That'll be streaming live through the Facebook page. Please do tune in and get involved. And that's all from us for today. And we will see you tomorrow at midday again. So have a lovely day. See you.